Now let's switch gears and turn attention to the presidential campaign promises, of course, that we've been seeing from different presidential candidates. The presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has unveiled his blueprint, just as he promised a new Nigeria where the economy, agriculture, security, and education will be given top priority. And Kwankwaso, who stated this in Abuja on Tuesday, said capable, competent, and hardworking Nigerians will be appointed into key and sensitive positions that will make Nigeria one of the best-run economies in the world. Also, the presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Tinubu, has said his administration would target a 10% economic growth if voted into office. Mr. Tinubu spoke at a town hall meeting and dialogue with the business community in Lagos on Tuesday. He said he would provide affordable and reliable power to drive private sector business. Now, we would be reviewing some of these political campaign promises as we draw near to the 2023 elections. And Dr. Dayakayade is still with us. Dr. D, thank you for staying with us.
Well, if only you will not say I'm talking about breath of fresh air again, then I will say thank you for thanking me.
If you would also oblige us by not campaigning for any candidate.
No, why should I campaign for a candidate on your program?
Thank you for saying
when
that.
It's not,
I'll hold you to your words. But let's start with this Kwankwaso campaign promises. It seems to be focusing so much attention on education, saying that university education would be free, that JAMB would now last for 4 years as against the 1-year tenure it's currently lasting for, saying that students wouldn't have to pay for WAEC, NECO, and all of that. These promises look ambiguous. How achievable are they?
They are not just ambiguous, but equally frivolous. Equally frivolous.
But won't you commend him for focusing on education?
Good. But the question is, how do you want to achieve that? Due to the present situation in the country.
Especially economically.
Yeah, even those countries that are having buoyant economy.
Yes.
They don't do that. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. Why are you lying again? Listen, presently, no university in Nigeria is free. No.
That's true.
Yes.
Secondary school, none is free.
Well, we have those who are not really paying much. They're just paying the...
Is it free? Is that free? Is that free? I said none is free. Whether free, I mean, whether paying little or no. Those who are paying millions. But it's not free. Again, the so-called NGOs that are supposed to be assisting, especially the churches or religious centers, that are supposed to also be giving real, I'm saying real now, when I say real, as in real assistance, they are nowhere to be found. So how do you want to achieve that?
Quickly to chip in here, that those who tell you that when you say free Western education and all of that, you know, as long as you're not paying tuition free, that it's free. I mean, I know she was trying to come in from the part that some people just pay for PTA lessons.
Do you know that some people are not in school in this Lagos state? I'm saying Lagos state because I'm residing here and I know because of uniforms.
Okay.
Because of uniforms. And that's what made somebody to say, look, uniform will even be free, and tell us that we employ tailors in Lagos to come around, be sewing this clothes free. Then the government will now pay the tailors, but they will supply those things to students free, because he has found out that uniforms are a kind of an encumbrance to some people's attaining Western education.
Let's bring this to, you know, Kwankwaso's, I won't say...
Is it the same Kwankwaso you're talking about?
I won't say it's leaning towards the far left in that sense in terms of policy, but how feasible is this now? Not just, you know,
it is not feasible. That's what I'm saying. It's another lie that I will end insecurity in 6 months without telling me how you want to do it. Is it by buy to Kano jets? No. It's beyond buy to Kano jets. You need to get it properly conceptualized.
Let's take up the policies one by one. It said quite a whole lot. She has started with education, and let's still maintain with education. If you are saying, okay, fine, it's not feasible in terms of the free education as it were. He talked about reducing the number of out-of-school children as well by constructing 500,000 classrooms across, you know, the nation. Now, my question is this: how does constructing classrooms translate to having students or children who are meant to be in school, you know, in school? The reason for that question is, during the Goodluck Jonathan administration, we know how he tried so much for the Almajiri and all of that, but that still didn't, in quotes, decrease the out-of-school children within that time, especially.
No,
exactly.
No,
I'm coming.
It did.
No, wait. I'm coming. One, there was still the sociocultural.
No, because when you lump all these things together, we'll be missing some out.
That's why I'm breaking it down. There was the sociocultural impediment of, as you've said, the reluctance to send their children to school in that part of the nation. Then two, we were battling with insecurity or insurgency, you know, especially in the northeast at the time. So that affected, you know, that decision.
Samson.
Construction of classrooms.
Sociocultural. Let me quickly explain that sociocultural you're talking about.
Let's go ahead with that.
Right. Yes, it's there. But are you also aware this person I'm talking about also said, yes, he knows that some people will want their children to be trading. It's because they don't know. So now you now need to bring in psychologists, counselors, how to educate those people.
That's also not feasible. You only take psychologists to their various homes?
Listen, did Jonathan did that? Jonathan did that in the north for him to bring in the Almajiri to schools, and that's why I was saying no, it was during Jonathan. Even though, okay. Because it's a kind of changing people's behavioral pattern, and you know it's difficult.
Exactly,
but
it's complex.
When it is difficult, it doesn't mean it's impossible. All right, but you are talking about impossibility. When I'm talking about difficulty,
not. Yeah,
Jonathan brought in a lot of psychologists and counselors to talk to the parents, to talk to all of them.
So let's go back to the question.
And then they were all exactly to schools.
Will the building of classrooms reduce the number of out-of-school children?
That's why I said building classrooms does not necessarily correlate to reducing out-of-school children.
So you would want
but if you say you are going to build those schools, you must also, it's a variable. It is a variable. But is it a variable that is independent on its own? No, it's not an independent variable within the taking out of school children correlation. Now what he now needs to tell me is, okay, if I'm building this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other factors, variables
like recruiting teachers.
Not recruiting teachers, by training and retraining teachers, by bringing in psychologists that will disabuse the minds of the people out of that outdated sociocultural belief.
I think that's where we should even start from.
Well, those are the issues I'm telling you.
That's still restricted.
And that is why when I look at what Kwakwaso was saying, he didn't talk like somebody who had done his own work properly.
That's even restricted to education, talking about retraining of teachers, getting psychologists and all. That's still
to disabuse people.
If we're talking about the variables within the context of this policy in terms of implementation, you're also looking at other aspects of the policy. For example, if he said he wants to build 500,000 classrooms, across 774 local governments. That's virtually, you know, an average of 1,000 classrooms, or 900 classrooms rather, in each local government. So the question is, where's he even going to get the land to start with? Especially when in certain states there are housing deficits and the state government.
Listen,
let me finish.
Land is not
Let me finish. It will be. Let me finish.
Because you can go on iRise, go to UK, go to US, go to Europe. You will see buildings, school buildings that will not be even more than this your copper. But then iRise. But what is inside? You will not believe.
I'm not disputing that possibility.
So,
wait, are you telling me you want to have 500, you know, classrooms, or 1,000? Yeah, 500 classrooms in one iRise.
I'm not saying why. You are talking about land, but I'm not saying land is not an issue for me.
The reason is this: certain states, quite all right, do not have the land because they still have housing deficit and they still need to address that.
The housing no, Samson, you are mixing issues.
I'm not.
The housing deficit you are talking about is because they are not visionary enough.
Wait,
there are lands everywhere to do all these
with
things.
the number of schools in Lagos State, for example, both primary and secondary school, we're not even delving into tertiary education. If Kwankwaso decides to implement his virtually 1,000 classrooms,
there's no land in Lagos State.
I'm not saying there's no land in Lagos State. With Lagos State's housing deficit,
you see, that's a priority for. You see, have land in Lagos State.
That's a priority for the state government than the classrooms.
That's what we call land economies. Go and study or Google land economies. Then you will be able to know that even Lagos State will still accommodate it, despite even housing deficit. Lagos State will still listen.
Okay, I think we also need to delve into other parts of this, what's it called, campaign promises. Yeah. For instance, he has talked about recruiting 1.5 million soldiers and policemen. Do you see that also as unpracticable?
Where do we have those policemen in this country now? Where do we have those soldiers in this? You see, sometimes, let me quickly say this. 4 or 5 years ago, I've been talking about people coming together because we are the ones that knows where the shoe pinches. Let us talk about energy. Let us talk about power. Let us talk about housing. Let us talk about, you know, all those things, and then come together and then come with a policy that will embrace all that and then show it to these politicians.
You don't think we need to talk security?
No, I say all those things, security inclusive.
Okay.
With this, that was all prompted. The group, that's me, Dr. Alkaudi, is still today the national coordinator, Coalition of Nigeria Stakeholders Forum, to have a kind of coming together. We call it Southern Nigeria Convergence. All the states within the southern Nigeria were represented. We did it at Jogo Center in Ibadan, and we came up with. And then what we came up with was tagged social contract with the government. All right, social contract. That thing was everywhere. Yeah, I think your correspondent was also there. Your correspondent was there. NTA correspondent was there. Arise was there. Okay? Even TVC was there. That was why I was not surprised when somebody now came up with my covenant with the people. I don't know whether you understand. My covenant with the people. And then go through that my covenant with the people. You will see the input of Nigerians. You will see the input of Nigeria. This is somebody who had been, which I am aware. I went to do, there was a time when we were talking, I think it was even on this platform, we were talking about subsidy. Is it fraud or not? We had it here. And on that day, at a point, I wanted to raise some issues, but I couldn't raise it because I needed some facts. I traveled to Ibadan for about a week. I went to NISA to go and meet the petroleum department, the petroleum department and all that, to ask some questions. So, okay? So what I'm saying is, go and read that my covenant. You will see that Abubakar Atiku had really worked with people. He had been dealing with some professionals, professors, practitioners for the past 10, 15 years to be collecting data and then updating them on how to move Nigeria forward. So this is what we are talking about. This is not that coming up. It's not that coming up with things that are not feasible.
This security issue. The challenges we face in our security apparatus now, is it the lack of personnel? Because if Kwankwaso is saying he will recruit 1.5 million.
I have told you about security. I have told you about security. When the leadership is not willing,
beyond
what
the
you
leadership
are saying is what you are saying.
Wait,
but
beyond the
we've
leadership.
heard several times that the police is understaffed.
Exactly.
And every time you raised the question just now saying that where will the police come from? Every time the police had put out a recruitment announcement out there, they always have an overflow.
Are you saying
more than the population that they need?
There are two things involved when you are saying understaffed. You might be having 2,000 policemen. Okay, that will not be as effective as when you are having even 100 policemen. Are you also aware?
Quite all right.
Are you aware?
Yes, but we do
depending on the facilities you are giving them, depending on training and retraining you are giving them, depending on their remuneration, how you encourage them to work.
But right now we have not even
but what is happening here? What is happening here? One, we just recruit without taking care of them. We just recruit without giving them the necessary tools to work with. Are you also aware that when our military personnel go outside the country, they collect the best laurels back to this country? Are you also aware? That is to tell you of this my parable. A bulb of onion planted on Nigerian soil, when you are peeling it, it will be making your eyes to shed some water. But this same bulb of onion, plant it in America, plant it in UK, plant it in Europe. You see that even when you are peeling it and cutting it, it will even be giving you a sweet aroma that we always want you to always cut. That. So what is the problem?
Enough policemen.
What I'm saying is our soil is bad. We need to repair that soil and give that soil all the necessary infrastructure
Doctor,
to make it behave, to make it act effectively.
Lack of personnel is that an issue?
370,000 policemen.
Yes.
You know, over
how effective are
200
they?
million people.
And then you also see them attaching about 5 to 1 VIP, attaching about another 10 to 1 politician.
But you're not addressing the main issue.
The issue is this. Even without the issue of VIP security men being allocated to VIPs for protection and all of that, we still do not meet the quota that we should have, considering the number of population to the policemen that we have. Now the question is this:
you that is saying that?
No, we do not. The UN standard, the United Nations standard.
I said even at that. Listen, Samson. Okay, even at that, what is the psyche of these little ones we have? Go and relate with a Nigerian police, okay, and he will tell you that, look, I cannot run after that armed robber because one, the gun is having is more sophisticated than his own. Two, if he's being killed, where is the insurance that will take care of his family? Three, he cannot even run properly because he is not well paid. They are using their own money to buy their uniforms. Go to the street, you see them even wearing slippers.
But that's beside the issue.
These are issues.
Yes, we know that.
No, the ones we are having, the ones we are. Okay, listen, look at this iBrand. Look at this iBrand. Do you have enough staff? No, we're not focusing. Listen, as an example, no station. I have gone to several stations. They are never well staffed. But because you are well taken care of, that is why you are now doing what 3 people are supposed to do. And at the end of the day, what do you need to do to satisfy your customers? Your customers are satisfied. So they wouldn't say you are, look at the way you are looking so gorgeous.
Let's not digress.
Like a Cinderella.
Let's not digress.
So that means you will walk. You definitely walk, because one, your psyche, your psyche equilibrium is being maintained.
I'm sure those who came up with the standard, the UN standard of 400 citizens to one policeman, didn't just come up with it because
I'm not disputing me. I'm not disputing. I say even at that. I say even at that, they are still not effective. There are ways that even when you are not meeting up to that per policemen per a particular number of people, I mean, you will still see the effectiveness. But this one, they are short and still.
Oh, now you are saying they are short.
Yes, I'm not saying they are not short. But what I'm saying, what I've been telling you is, even at that, they are not well.
All right. So now that we have come to an agreement.
So where will Kwakwaso now get all those things he's talking about?
1.5 million people. There's so many people out of job.
And every time they even put out
exactly. We always had scandals.
Listen. When you now bring them into that place, it will now be paying them well, Abi. It will be the one in charge of police. The police has a standard. They have their this in there. Will he be buying them uniforms?
What he is saying is,
needs to come up
to bolster the security of the nation. We need more personnel. He is indirectly saying that lack of or inadequate personnel is the reason we have these.
Let me first of all tell me the ones that are available now. 1, 2, 3 are the things I'm going to do for them to make them more effective. Thereafter, I will now upgrade the numbers to through 1, 2, 3.
In other words,
these are the things
1.5 million more people, gallant men and women in our forces, won't still address the issues of insecurity we have. Is that what you're saying?
If they are not, if the system that is operating now is not being changed, put everybody there.
All right, let's focus now on the
manifesto
of the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He seems to be focusing on 6 power. He talked about the fact that yes, that's on one side. There's also the issue of the TCN, the transmission company of Nigeria, which he says he would unbundle. How practicable is that?
You see, in Yoruba, they always say, "Ojú tó bá máa bá ni kalẹ̀." That is,
the morning shows the day.
The way you will be in the evening can be determined from the morning. Do you understand? What am I saying is this. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was part of the people that campaigned for this particular government. And while campaigning, they were talking about insecurity, power. I even remember Fashola.
Economy.
Fashola said power in Nigeria, I mean incessant blackouts in Nigeria is going to be
a thing of the past.
A thing of the past within 3 months or 6 months.
I think 6 months.
Because it is not a rocket science thing. He was the first person to bring that particular statement into focus in Nigeria. Not a raw science thing. This is 7 years going to 8. Where are we? The same for insecurity. So, and he has said, this same presidential candidate of APC had said, look, I am going to follow the steps of this particular government. So that means wherever this government are taking us to, his own is going to be ×2.
Let's leave the rhetorics and look at the...
It's not about rhetorics.
No, wait. I know I'm saying that. Let's leave the previous rhetorics now and look at what he has unveiled as his action plan or manifesto, whatever adjective you want to qualify it. That was the 4-page, thing, well detailed and all of that. From what you've seen, what you've read, what we heard yesterday during, that conference and all, do you think in terms of unbundling the transmission company of Nigeria when it comes to the power sector, do you think that's the way to go? should we unbundle the transmission company?
You see, the best way to go anywhere is to unbundle.
Okay.
That is and then when you are unbundling, it has to be with those that are having the technical know-how.
Okay.
Okay? Those that are having the technical know-how. Technical know-how is different from those that are having the financial capacity. Because when you have financial capacity, you don't have the technical know-how, definitely you bring those people in. And because you are a capitalist, you are an investor. An investor is a capitalist. You want to recoup your money as early as immediately and then make profits. Those people too, they know what is operating. At the same time, they will now look at you, okay, we are going to sabotage you from if you are not giving us our due share. And mark you, human ones are insatiable. You always want more, like Oliver Twist. So to that extent, it has been making unbundling in this part of the world to be a difficult thing.
Okay.
So what I will suggest is, yes, let us unbundle, but unbundle to the professionals.
Okay.
When you unbundle to the professionals, look for ways in which you can assist them to get finance. If truly we are a serious country, it happens everywhere, whereby you just take your proposal to the bank. I mean, do you understand?
So these are the things we expect to see in the manifesto, not just I will unbundle.
Yeah,
How do you hope to go about
how do you want to go about it?
What do you hope to achieve?
So it is only when you do this thing through the real professionals who are having the technical know-how, who can easily tell you, look at this man, engineer Makoju, right? Makoju, what he did when he was in charge. I mean, is it not Makoju? Yeah, it's Makoju. When he was in charge of our electricity. Look at what he did. We were having a kind of a rise in the graph of electricity supply there. But at the end of the day, where are we now?
You know, what's it called? The power sector was privatized in 2013, and then the distribution company and the generating company were sold out. But the federal government is still in charge of the transmission company, and we know that a lot of people have been saying that we need to review or revisit that privatization because it isn't working out. What are the assurances that this time around, if the TCN is unbundled, then the power sector would breathe a new air?
Now, quickly, just to chip into the question, especially since the Gencos are always insisting that they generate enough power. That's about the transmission, the distribution now.
Yeah, you see, also when you transmit, and then the distribution company are not distributing well, it will also affect.
Well, the discos also claim that they don't have enough money.
Exactly.
You see,
to get the power.
You see, when you study this thing holistically, you know that it's the discos that are the problem in this country. The discos. You know why?
Okay.
You know why? Because they are out to make more than what they have invested. Listen to this. When they were first brought in,
yes,
I mean the discos, they use their money to buy some of these distribution companies. Immediately, I think they have formed a kind of a cartel. They said they don't have money again to move on. And if care is not taken, the whole country will be in darkness. What happened? The federal government, through the CBN, gave them money. We're all aware. I think about 300
They're still owing the banks, right?
Yes,
up to now.
I think about 300 billion and all that. What did they use it to do?
So
what? Do you understand? Then go and look at the caliber of people. The caliber of people in that discourse. What have they been using the money for?
So for power, the issue isn't about the Gencos in terms of generating. They are generating enough. It's about the transmission and the distribution.
The politics between the transmission company and
so we are bundling to see and fix that.
When we, most of these things that we generate, do you know that we export them out of the country?
Exactly.
And those people, they always have lights.
Yes.
Even that
Even charge, just charge.
Yes. Do you understand? So what's the problem with TCN and Discos?
Discos.
So they are, especially Discos. Discos contract should be reviewed. I mean,
Okay.
for me, it should be reviewed because they are not doing enough.
Okay, so in summary, you're saying that this unbundling of the TCN may not be the one cap fits all solution.
Yeah, no. It has to be holistic. It has to be, especially between TCN and the Disco. Because you say you are bundling this, you are not dealing with this. No.
All right.
You just have to do it holistically
Let's
for us to
leave it
move
there,
forward.
Dr. D. We'll take a break. When we come back, another focus, we'll be focusing on another discussion. Please stay with us.